All right, everyone, I'm starting something new on the YouTube channel. I have Jaron with me who works with me at the dealership, and we're going to be answering Toyota questions from last week. I had over 100 questions asked on my channel. We kind of narrowed it down to some of the most important questions. So let's start off with the first question. So we have Tacoma towing capacity. Why are Tacoma towing capacities different depending on where you look? You know the answer to that.
Probably because it's the internet, for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of misinformation out there. One of the best websites that we have is we have Toyota Engage, which they actually have a payload and towing calculator. So not only can you see what the maximum payload is, so all the cargo space, everything in the vehicle, including passengers, weight-wise, but what you can carry in the bed, what you can carry inside the cabin, and then along with the actual towing capability of it, which, depending on the engine, too, makes a difference.
Now, another question here was, which Tacoma trims come with the iForce Max hybrid engine? So you can't get the hybrid Max in the SR or the SR5. It comes standard on the TRD Pro Trail Hunter, and you can get it as an option on the TRD Sport and the TRD Off-Road. Which other one am I missing?
The Limited.
And the Limited as well. So you can get that in a gas too.
That's right.
All right, so the next question that we have here is the Tacoma TRD Sport better than the Off-Road?
Better? Not necessarily.
Yeah,
It depends on really what you're doing. So
exactly, yeah.
what I always tell people is you have your two entry-level trims. You have the SR and the SR5, and then from there it branches off in two different directions. You branch off into the off-roading rugged sector with the off-road, and on the other side you're going to the Sport, which is an on-road performance. In the Sport package itself, besides the Sport Tune suspension, it really just gives you more of an aesthetic package with the color match fender flares in the hood scoop. The wind dam comes standard on the Sport just because, you know, if you're off-roading, you don't really need it. It's going to get ripped off, but it's supposed to be for better fuel efficiency.
So pretty much TRD Sport, better for on-road, TRD Off-Road if you want all the off-roading capabilities like multi-terrain select, and then you have your crawl control and all that other stuff.
And your lock and rear diff.
Another question here was, how's the Tacoma back seats? Are they too small? I mean, again, that really just depends on what you really need it for. You know, if you're going on long trips with adults, probably not, but you can still fit a car seat back there if you have kids, if you're going on short trips. But I would say I wouldn't recommend it to somebody that's going to be doing long distance traveling in a Tacoma.
I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had people specifically buy them, and I move my car seats out of my Corolla and put them in them. Granted, rear facing and front facing and cargo carriers are a little bit different, but you know, you can fit car seats in pretty much all of our vehicles.
Now, there was a lot of questions about the JBL Flex speaker. So we found out some things today. One of them said, how does the JBL Flex speaker actually work? Does the JBL Flex speaker work while it is plugged into the dash as an added speaker?
Yes, in the short answer. So whenever you pop it in to the dash, it direct connects via your wireless system or your Bluetooth system with your JBL speaker system, and it just becomes another speaker whenever it's hardlined in. Now, when you press the button and pop it out, it disconnects from the Bluetooth portion of like your actual speaker system, and then it just becomes a regular wireless speaker system that you can put on the tailgate and play separate music, or somebody can hook up via Bluetooth or hardlining it into the USB Type-C.
Now, here's another question. This is regarding the Sienna minivan. So somebody asked, which Sienna's better, the 7-passenger or the 8-passenger? And does the 8-seater second row slide back as much as the 7-seater? Let me answer just the beginning part of it. I mean, 7-seater versus 8-seater, it really just depends on how many seats you really need. If you have a lot of kids, if you have, 3-4 kids, the 8-seater is going to be better for you. And obviously, you only have a few options when it comes to getting an 8-seater because you can't get it in certain trim levels. And if you have anything to input in that.
My point of view would be that the
And he owns a minivan, by the way.
Yes. It depends how you look at it. I would say that the 8-seater is more versatile than the 7-seat. Yeah, you don't get as many options trim level like the Limited Platinum, all-wheel drive XLE, but you know, if you want a 7-seat minivan that is cost efficient, that is, you know, a lower price than the XLE, you can always remove the 8th seat out of the minivan on the LE, which is what I do personally, because my daughter wants to sit in the back. But we can also just pop it in if we need more cargo space and put in 3 car seats across that. So, oh wait, we didn't answer the second part of that. So the second row, regardless if it's 7 or 8 seats, travels the same because it's the same rail system. So it does travel just as far if you need to move it forward or backwards.
Oh, here's another one. Regarding the Sienna rear climate, one of the questions was, does the Sienna have air conditioning in the third row? Yes, it does. There's vents up top.
Yes.
Just right in the top corners, right?
Yeah, it's on the right side and left side, above your third windows back there, where on some of them they have the sunshades too, but they're up there. So
now here, this is regarding Toyota EV mode. There's a lot of questions on here just regarding EV mode in general. So it says, what is EV mode and how do you use it? Does EV mode save gas? Why does EV mode turn off automatically? Can Toyota hybrids drive fully electric? So to answer that question, EV mode is just a mode where you can drive on just the electric portion for a short period of time. Now that battery will drain at some point and you can't really use it, but it's mainly functional when you're doing, like if you're in stop and go traffic, like city driving and stuff like that, and it will shut off automatically if the battery does drain. What else do you think?
Once you go over certain miles per hour, it kicks off too. I believe the threshold is about 12 miles an hour, and it's very short distances. So yeah, in the short term, it does save gas. If you're in standstill traffic, you can just run fully electric. But it's kind of just one of those things that it's a button that if you need it, it will kind of work like your start and stop button or system on gas vehicles, where it just kicks off the gas engine and runs fully on electric.
The next thing is about hybrid batteries. It says, what does Toyota's hybrid battery warranty cover and what is the battery tech? I'll answer the warranty. The warranty is a 10-year, 150,000 mile coverage. And then you know a little bit more about the battery tech and them. So
yeah, and that warranty covers from factory defects for the battery. The other thing with it is there are a couple different compositions of battery. There's the lithium ion battery. There's a nickel metal hydride battery. Each one has their own, you know, limitations and specifications of how it works.
Next question here is about head-up display. So it says, how do you use the head-up display and why is it not showing? The vehicle has to be equipped with the head-up display. If you look at the spec sheet or if you walk into a dealership and look at the window sticker, it'll say right on there as part of a package if it has it. And some vehicles have the option to get it, some vehicles don't. Is there anything else that you might...
Some of the common, like, you know...
It would just have to be on the spec sheet, really.
Well, if it's not working too, you can go into the settings. A lot of vehicles that have the HUD or HUD, which is the heads-up display, they will have a digital gauge cluster that's fully customizable. If you hold the OK button down, it'll pull up a bracket. You can scroll down to your settings, and then you can scroll to the HUD portion within the setting, and you can make sure it's turned on. You can move it up, you can move it down, you can change the orientation of it, you can change what's showing. The other thing with it is if you can't see it and you're wearing sunglasses, make sure they're not polarized because it is a reflection onto the front glass, like a projector screen. If you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you will not be able to see it, or prescription lenses in general, even if they are prescription.
All right, the next one here is about, just talking about remote start regarding the app on your phone. It says, can you remote start a Toyota from the phone app? Is remote start by phone app possible? And what is Toyota Remote Connect? What Toyota models have Remote Connect? Do all trims come with Remote Connect? So the remote The remote start on the app is only available on certain vehicles. It would have to be equipped with the remote connect. Now, you get one year trial with that, but once that 1 year trial ends, if you have the Toyota app still downloaded on your phone, you can use the remote start on the key fob. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there.
The only vehicle that I'm aware of that does not come standard with that 1 year trial is the Sienna LE. They may have changed that for 26.
Yeah.
But
I'd have to look
when
into
I
it.
bought my 25, we had to opt into the subscription and pay for it immediately to be able to utilize it. One of the little things with that, or the only issue I've ever had anybody have, if you leave your vehicle unlocked, say in a garage or on the street, if you're in a rural area and you're not worried about people breaking into it, sometimes you leave the vehicle unlocked. To remote start it through the app, you have to make sure the vehicle is locked. If you just press the remote start button on your phone, whenever it's unlocked, it will say failed, and most people don't know why. Make sure you lock the vehicle first and then remote start it, and it should work.
Now, one thing, I have a lot of people that say they don't want to pay for the remote start on the app on their phone, and you can cancel it anytime. A lot of people, especially up here in the north, they'll get the app just for a few months during the winter time, just because they want to warm up their vehicle. Grand Highlander, ventilated seats. I like that question because it's somebody asked, how strong are the ventilated seats in the Grand Highlander? I love the way that they work. I mean, personally, even on a hot day, it's worked for me. Like, it really does cool everything. So
it'll cool your butt off.
It'll cool your butt off. Toyota Crown wheel size. Oh, which Toyota Crown trims have the 19-inch wheels and which have the 21-inch wheels? I just did reviews on these.
So the 19 comes on the XLE. The 21-inch wheels.
Too,
they're standard with 21-inch wheels, and then you can get the 21-inch black alloy wheels as an option on the Nightshade and the Limited, I believe. And then it should come standard with the chrome ones on the Platinum.
Now, here's another one. The RAV4 Illuminated front badge. I had somebody on my channel ask me that. Does the RAV4 Limited have an illuminated front emblem? It does if you get the package with it. If not, you'll just have the standard emblem up front. It works with the the lights.
It either works with your fog lights or your daytime running lights.
But we'll have to confirm that maybe in a different video. Toyota. Here's one about Toyota factory orders, and this has been kind of a thing back and forth with a lot of people because so people have asked, when you go to a Toyota dealership, can you actually order a vehicle from the factory? And the answer is no, but kind of. At least at our dealership, the way it works is there's allocations that come out, and our region will announce whatever vehicles are going to be available, and then we kind of just match what the customer wants when they come into the dealership, pick out the options, the colors, and we request changes from Toyota.
Yeah, it's kind of in a sense, like a draft pick situation where, they may be allocating 400 of a specific vehicle, and there may be 40 dealerships in our region. So in a perfect world, each dealership would get 10. However, based off sales volume and, how good of a relationship they have with Toyota, they earn more. So we may get 25 of a specific vehicle. Another dealership that's a smaller dealership that doesn't have as many inventory or doesn't have such a large market, they may get 5. And we have the ability to go in there and request changes to fill orders. Sometimes it does take a couple allocations, and usually as long as it's built a certain way, within the parameters of optional packages, colors, interiors, usually we have a pretty good chance at getting it filled soon. But sometimes it can take a lot longer.
The last question we have on here before we end this is the 360 camera panoramic view monitor. Or what trims have panoramic? A lot of these are generalized questions on some of the videos that I've posted on my channel, but the 360 camera is something that has to be as an optional package. Some vehicles don't even have the option of getting it. So.
Yeah, one of the big things is it is specific to vehicle and trim level.
A lot of the higher trim levels usually have the 360.
But there is a little button that you can hit. But it works with your camera systems around your vehicle. Mm-hmm. So, if some of the lower end economy models don't necessarily have all those camera systems, so it would not have a panoramic view monitor. If you have any specific questions on what vehicles do have it, like say a RAV4 example or a Tundra, just let me or Lorenzo know, and we can usually answer those questions for you. I know it's hard to digest all the information
Yeah,
on.
lots of questions. You know, this is our first video doing this, so we're just kind of learning as we go. But I promise we'll make these videos a lot better every single week once we kind of figure out the structure on how we want to do this. But because we answered all these questions in this video, if you guys have other questions for us for next week, I would love to be able to sit down and come up with some better answers for you guys as well. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. And I do want to let you guys know that Jaron over here does have a YouTube channel as well, so I want you guys to go check out his channel. I'll actually link it in the description of this video. Make sure to hit subscribe on his channel as well.
I haven't uploaded anything yet, but I'm hoping to do that very soon.
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, guys.